tell me about your house or apartment.
Yeah, honestly, I was rent a apartment near my university because near this my university as well as easy for my job. Yeah, my apartment has a full furniture with good quality security with amenity. Yeah, and it's easy for me to around the city. Because my house has full furniture, which easy for me to have some party with my friend in a weekend and or special day. Yeah. On the other hand, is in my room has one door in us. Yeah. Which
okay.
is,
so
yeah.
hold on. What is one thing you'd like to change about your apartment?
In my apartment, I think nothing to change. But future, I think I will have a table or desk for my work. Yeah, because the past I usually work in the bed. Yeah.
Are there any shops or other facilities nearby?
Shop or sale? Yeah. Because my apartment near security have a good security and emergency. Yeah, and it's easy for me to buy something. Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at speaking part 1. The topic today that we're going to be looking at is talking about your home. So again, there's 4 criteria that we're looking at: fluency and coherence, lexical, grammar, and pronunciation. So the examiner in this case asks 3 questions. The first question is about telling me about your home. So that means that they want you to describe your home. When you describe your home, you need to make sure that you talk about your home. Maybe the color of your house. Maybe about the decorations, like pictures or different furniture. Things like that that are in your home that helps to decorate your home. Maybe talk about the rooms, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, if you have balconies. And whether it's an apartment or a house, you need to describe that. Maybe with a house you want to talk about the different floors or the different stories or levels. If it's an apartment, usually 1 floor there, so you should talk more about the bedrooms and maybe the bathrooms, the kitchen or the living room or the dining room, things like that. So you want to do as much as you can to describe your house so the examiner can get a picture per se, a picture in his head of what your house looks like. The next question is referring to, there's another question about shops and other facilities nearby. And so you want to talk about some of the shops, maybe a clothing or a shoe store, maybe restaurants, maybe bars, things like that, things that are around your shop. So let's talk about the way that she answers some of these questions. So first, she does have some repetition, some and she starts some things. She does talk about a full furniture, which a full furniture is not only the language is wrong, but also the grammar is incorrect. And she uses that a couple of times to talk about different things. So she's not using flexible language in this case. She also, with coherence, remember coherence is about how much you understand the question and how much the examiner understands what you're talking about. So in this case, she asks a question, what would you like to change about where you live or your apartment? I think she's talking about an apartment here. And she says, nothing to change, but in the future. So I don't think she really understood that question. It's almost like she didn't get it because she said, yeah, there's nothing to change, but in the future I'm going to change this. So the coherence is a little off here. And then there was another question about shops and other facilities, and the candidate says, are there any shops or other facilities? And the girl says, yes, because it have good security. So for me, I don't understand what security has to do with shops or other facilities. Oh, in other facilities, you might want to mention maybe like parks or gyms, things like that. So that was with fluency and coherence. Mainly some coherence problems. I don't think her fluency is a problem, but maybe her coherence is a problem. And like I mentioned, of full furniture. And then she also says good quality security with amenity. And I'm not sure what she meant by this. So again, this might lead a little bit to the coherence being off a little. Because when you're talking about amenity, which should be amenities, because there's usually more than one, you know, these are things like maybe shops. Because like at Royal City or Times City, sometimes you have like a mall and you have restaurants and you have shops and you have gyms and you have schools. Those would be some of the amenities that you would be talking about in your building. Because nowadays in many apartment buildings they have full amenities. So that's a little problem here. She also uses the phrase on the other hand incorrectly because on the other hand signals a contrast, but when she uses that phrase there's no real reason to use it. So there was no contrast in what she was talking about. And contrast means it's like an opposite meaning to what you were talking about. Maybe you're talking about something positive and then you say something negative, or something negative and then something positive. When she uses that phrase, if you listen back to that, when she uses that phrase, it's used incorrectly. So that's a problem with her lexical or her language. The next thing is the very first question. She says, she asks, do you live in a house or an apartment? And she says, honestly, was rent an apartment? And I don't understand, honestly means she's telling the truth about something. So that word also, honestly could actually be the wrong word with lexical also, but her tense is wrong. She's using was rent an apartment. That means she doesn't rent it anymore. So it doesn't really make sense. She also talks about it's easy for me around the city. So she's missing some language here. So again, lexical and grammar is affected here, and a little bit of coherence because it's hard to understand what she's trying to say. And then there were a couple of other things. She likes to have party with my friend. Party is singular. This is also singular, but you probably want to say maybe parties with my friends instead of friend. And then she also, again, uses a phrase which I wasn't quite sure she meant what she was talking about, but this would also lead to being a little bit of a coherence problem. She says, for special a day. And I don't understand what she was trying to say here. Maybe special days or special occasions. I think that's what she's trying to say. And then the last thing, for the most part, her pronunciation was okay. She did get a little lazy at a couple times. Like instead of saying university, she says univer. So she doesn't really complete that quite. But overall, she was easily understood. Just she got a little lazy in her speech. So we're going to give you some practice questions to work on after this. And remember to record your voice. Also practice in a mirror or practice with a friend so that way you can ask each other questions. And hopefully you'll do very well on this, and you'll do well on your speaking test. Good luck.